great artist we know today as Caravaggio was born Michelangelo Merci on September 28, 1573, in the small town of Caravaggio, Italy, which, as an adult, he would be known by. At age 11, he was orphaned, then was apprenticed to a painter by the name of Simon Petersen of Milan for the next 4 years. Between 1588 and 1592, he worked as an assistant to lesser-known painters in Rome. By 1595, he began to sell his own paintings through a dealer, who, in turn, brought him to the attention of Cardinal Francesco del Monte. In 1597, Cardinal Francesco del Monte commissioned Caravaggio to paint Medusa, a painted canvas stretched over a shield of poplar wood. This painting was meant to be hung just inside the door to a house, as a threat to those who entered. Caravaggio achieved this by the frightening facial expression Medusa wears and her threatening mane. These features are brought out by the use of chiaroscuro on the face, hair, and background. Also by the use of clever tricks, Medusa seems to be defying all logic, coming off a concave surface towards the viewer, which, as you can see in this picture, is convex and smooth. All these tricks make Medusa appear threatening, as she should, being a kind of threat to all who enter the house. But in reality, she can do us no harm, for her head is cut off, therefore her mythical powers disabled.
Medusa is a classic Baroque-style painting, a magnificent irregular pearl for the fact that it is one of Caravaggio's most well-known paintings, and yet it has such horrid subject matter. It is classifiable as a traditional Baroque due to its use of Caravaggio, which is the use of contrast between light and dark, as well as the contradictory feelings it leaves in the taste of the viewer's mouth, for one is not sure what to think of it, because it appears to be terrifying, and yet Medusa appears terrified herself.
Narcissus, a painting of oil on canvas, was also painted in 1597. This painting shows the myth of the same name in terms of a union between Narcissus and the water, shown to us through love aroused by the beauty of the creature in the painting. The more strictly physical signs of this relationship are the pouty expression on Narcissus's face, in conjunction with his large, fleshy lips. In this painting, we have another very good example of the wonderful chiaroscuro that Caravaggio uses. Caravaggio highlighted Narcissus's masculine form by concentrating light and creating a highlight along the top of the arms and shoulders. He also uses the same technique to draw attention to the expression on Narcissus's face and swollen lips, by placing a highlight starting at the ear and going down towards said lips. If asked about what you see in the water in this picture, your gut reaction would be to say Narcissus's reflection. Yet, if you look closer, you see that even though it is Narcissus that we see in the water, his face is distorted. This distortion is a visual manifestation of the fact that when we look at ourselves, we only see what we want to see. In fact, this is what causes the painting to have an undertone of irony, for Narcissus saw himself as beautiful, and yet his obsession with his own beauty is what makes him ugly to the outside world. Narcissus is a Baroque painting due to not only its use of chiaroscuro, but the paradox, as previously stated, lying within the painting.
Amor Vincit Omnia, or The Victorious Cupid, was painted in 1601 and is an oil on canvas. It was commissioned by Gustani. At first glance, all you see is Cupid getting out of bed, but if you look closer, you'll notice what he's stepping on. Behind his right leg is an old flute and new violin, standing for music, as well as a T-square and compass standing for geometry, and a stellar globe for astronomy. We all know Cupid as the god of love, but we never stop to consider how he got there. Maybe he had to choose between being a soldier, a ruler, a scholar, and do what he really wanted to do. This decision is illustrated in the picture Victorious Cupid, for Cupid ignores the life of the soldier, stood for by the armor in this picture, the life of a scholar by the book and quill, The Life of a Ruler by the Crown and Scepter, as well as Fame itself, stood for by the laurel wreath.
For this painting has served its purpose intended by Gustani, showing that love conquers all, hence the name, Victorious Cupid. This painting can be classified as Baroque-style painting due to the use of chiaroscuro and the immense amount of imagery, metaphor, and symbolism used to show that love conquers all. Caravaggio created the revolutionary technique of tenebrism, which is the dramatic, selective illumination of form out of deep shadow. This technique would later become the hallmark of the Baroque and is simply the making of chiaroscuro a dominant feature in the painting. He used this technique to make the subject appear more realistic. He was also revolutionary in the fact that he did not hold religious subjects and myths in an idealized light. Caravaggio used real people he pulled off the streets to be models, and was later condemned a naturalist for his aim to only depict the truth down to the scale of his paintings.